Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in for another Authors Impact Hub podcast. I am your host, Juanita Woodson, founder of the Authors Impact Hub, and today I am joined by a special guest all the way from the UK. I always think it's so cool to connect with our international authors to learn about their journeys. So I always let the authors do their own introductions. Today we have on with us Miss Julie. If you can share with us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and the book that we'll be discussing.
Right. Hi, I'm Julie Day from London, UK. I'm an autistic author, an autism advocate, and I mainly write children's books featuring autistic characters finding confidence. Today we're talking about my book, Billy and the Sparkling Socks.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So, what inspired you to write stories, especially for children?
Um, right, so it goes back to 2001, and I had like a recurring dream, and to get it out of my head, I just wrote it down and the ideas came. That was a romance, but nothing happened to that one. I tried romance for several years, and then in 2005, I came second in a short story writing competition for children, which had a magical theme to it. And it went from there, and the books that we're talking about today, they started sort of like about 10 years later. So 2014, I sort of started writing Billy. So
Nice, nice. Okay. I love the fact that it started with the dream, right? Your writing started with the dream and you had to get it out of your head onto paper. So your signature fusion of autism and magical realism is unique. How did you come to blend those two concepts?
but I think the magical thing came first because as I just said, the short story I came second with, that had a magical theme to it. And I'd already been writing sort of like books, children's books with a magical theme. And when I started writing like the children's autism fiction books, Billy and that, um, in the story, his socks become magical. And originally, I didn't know what the socks had to do with it. And the magic sort of came into that fusion then. And then I think by that time, I'd read that it was a good idea to have a tagline to describe your book, like in just a few words. And that's just what came to me. Autism meets magical realism.
Okay, nice. I love it. So can you tell us a little bit about the character Billy, right? So he's a captivating character. So what inspired you or what sparked the creation of Billy?
Another dream. I had a dream about, I didn't know his name. When he was a little boy in the class, he became super in front of his classmates, but I had no idea how or why he needed to become super, only that it had to do with his dogs. And then I got the chance to see the play version of the book, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, whose main character is a autistic teenage boy. And seeing that, I realised that's what my book character was. He was autistic, he was shy, he was quiet, he liked writing stories but didn't like reading that loud in class, which was me when I was that age. And I thought, well, that's why he becomes super. Because even though he's autistic, he can overcome that by somehow reading out loud in class. And that's what happens.
Okay, nice. I love that. So what do you hope young readers, especially those who may be on the autism spectrum, will take away from Billy's story?
Um, Hopefully hope and inspiration that if they have a special interest in life that they do and they enjoy doing, they put their mind to it and use it, they can do, well, not what they like that can do, but they can do various things with it in life, and it can help make friends, build confidence at school, at home, and do what they would like to do.
Yes, I love that. You're giving them motivation and inspiration that they can do all things. I think that's so amazing. And then what about maybe their siblings or parents or teachers? Because I think it's important for those around us to be able to have an understanding as well. What do you want them to gain from the message in this story?
Um, Again, hope and inspiration that if I do have an autistic child or sibling who has a special interest, then to sort of they read the books and they can see they might find ways that they can help their child nurture it, have fun with them with it, connect them with it. And that is the main, hopefully, the main takeaway that I want parents and educators to take away from reading the books.
I love that. So, how has your own experience shaped your approach to writing and also storytelling?
Um, but there's two ways how I write and what I write.
Okay.
How I write is I actually write, I mean, I'm a plotter. I can't just write just like that. Um, and I write sort of like linear. So say I plot a story out, but I do it sort of like plot it sort of like day by day. So if I can start the story sort of like on a Monday, and I plot it out sort of like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I write like the book like that. I don't start sort of jumping about with a bit of chapter this and a bit of chapter that. If I get stuck, I just try and go through it with like start to finish, no editing. Um, and also there's what I write. As I said before, years ago I did try writing romance, but I discovered after several years of trying, it just wasn't me. I
Okay.
think because maybe not just of my being autistic, but because of who I am. I haven't had any romantic relationships, so I can't relate to um, that sort of relationship in a book. So I can't sort of write it authentically.
Okay.
So have you seen that from my website that near all my books, I mean, some of them might have a contemporary feel to them, but they have like magical realism to them. And my children's books like angels and there's ghosts and there's mermaids. And then there's like the current ones like they all feature autistic characters that I can relate to. And that is one of the other things that I want the children to see, that they can relate to the characters in the books that they read, because there's not many children's fiction books out there with autistic characters in.
Yeah, that I think that's so important, especially in today's day and time where you do hear about a lot of diagnosis, right?
Yeah,
And inclusion, right? We want to make sure that that inclusion is there too, so that they can feel people who are on the spectrum, children, adults even too. I think that adults can learn so much from children's books as
yeah.
so what role do you believe books play in helping neurotypical readers better understand autism?
Um, well, one of the things I feel is that if they know that the book is written by a neurodivergent person, an autistic person like me, then they know that what's inside the book is authentic
Yeah.
and it's real. Um, in my books, I hope that they can feel that way too. Plus, also um, that they can find it easy to understand about how an autistic person goes about their life and the challenges they go through in school and in life and at home and that. That's what I'd like.
Yeah, I think that's so important. You're doing a really big thing here. I hope that people catch on and really understand how important it is. So
So do
did you,
I.
yeah, did you face any challenges while you were writing this book? And if so, how did you overcome those challenges?
Um, Writing it wasn't really a challenge because I think because I loosely based Billy on myself at that age, the story came quite easily, especially with the magical element to it. Um, the only thing that I did find challenging was formatting the book
Okay.
because it was the days when KDP was actually create space, and you
Yes.
could try formatting it yourself. I
Yeah.
did it for the first few books in the Rainbow School series, and it didn't really come out right. And then sort of on the fourth book, I suddenly discovered that my cover designer for the books also does formatting. That's how I asked her to do it, and ever since then, she's done the formatting as well as the cover designs and the little illustrations inside as well.
Nice. Awesome. Being able to tap into those resources. I think that's a really big thing for authors, self-published authors, because a lot of times authors do run into those formatting issues, right? When it comes to uploading the book to KDP or to Ingram, you actually have to have two different files essentially for your cover. And some people
Mm.
get frustrated and they just quit. So I'm glad that you were able to find a way around and keep going with publishing your books. Yes. So if you could speak directly to a young reader or even an adult, right, who feels unseen or different, what would you want to say to them?
Um, I would say I know it's hard going at times. It can be difficult out there, especially when you're a child and growing up, being autistic. Um, but keep going. If you do have a special interest, enjoy that, learn from it, and use that, if possible, to build on the confidence as you go about life.
Yeah, I think that's so important. So what, and I want to ask this question, the same, almost the same question, but in a different way, right? What would you say to then like caregivers or the parents who have children who may feel unseen or who may be on the spectrum? What would you say to them to nurture those special interests?
Um, I would say maybe if you do have a special interest out there, and you would like to do something with it, like build a career with it, like I've been doing with my writing now, maybe I start in a small way, sort of like maybe sort of blog or start a website about it. First of all, use social media, and then build on what you've learned from that, which is what I've basically done. Sort of build on sort of writing my books and doing workshops and everything, building on that, and then I'm hoping eventually to sort of go further and do talks possibly out there about autism. So start small, work your way up with your confidence, and then see what happens.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. So what's been like maybe the proudest moment that you can remember so far in your author journey?
Ooh, proudest moment. I think possibly publishing my first ebook myself back in 2011.
Nice. Yes. I love it. And what was that book titled?
It's called what's it called? It's the Railway Angel. It's the first in my Guardian Angels teenage series about teenage angels who get the chance to come back to Earth and to stop others from hurting themselves and doing stupid things, basically.
Okay. So you write definitely write across different genres. I can tell that you have a love for writing, but also a love for sharing with those educating others as well. So are there any upcoming books or projects that you have in the works that you can share?
Yes, there's a few actually.
Okay.
I've finally today put the finishing touches to a non-fiction book called The Passion Path. Again, it's part memoir, part guide. And the memoir part is all about all the special interests I've had over the years and how they've helped me in life, from sort of like communicating, bonding with my family to sort of traveling and independently and communicating with others. The guide part is like it's like for parents and educators because it comes there's now and then there's like tips and advice and prompts and questions to sort of help their child. That's one. I'm also working on cozy mystery for adults. I hope to publish finally next year. I've written book 4 of the Pet Rescuers series. I need to finalise that. I hope to publish that next year. Plus, also I have been doing sort of like creative writing workshops in libraries over this year, and I hope to do some more later this year and possibly next year.
Nice. So you are busy, a busy lady getting out there with your writing, but then also teaching others, right? Educating others. I think that is so amazing. So how can listeners connect with you on social media and also find your books?
Right, okay. On social media, on Facebook and Instagram, I'm Julie Day. On YouTube, I am Julie Day Aspipreneur. And you can find all my books on my website, which is www.julieaday.co.uk.
Okay, perfect. And so I always like to end it with a question like this, right? What impact do you want your books to make on the world?
Um, well, I really like to have leave a legacy of autism awareness, autism acceptance, autism inclusion.
Yeah, awesome. I think that's amazing. I can't wait to order your books, right? I can't wait to order your books and share with some of the amazing people that I know could benefit from it in my life. I think that what you're doing is amazing. I'm super inspired by you sharing your journey, right? Sharing what it was like for you and putting it in the way of a book so that others can feel seen. I think that visibility is so important so that people can see themselves in writing.
Mm,
I think that's so important. So thank you for taking that step and kind of like charting the way for those that are on the spectrum. I think it's so amazing what you're doing.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Well, listeners, please make sure that you go and connect with Miss Julie Day. We want to make sure that you order her books. You're also available on, we have your website, but are your books also available on Amazon, those different platforms?
Yes, they're
Okay.
all available on Amazon.
Okay, perfect. So yes, you can connect with her on her website. Make sure when you order a book, you leave a review. Authors, we love reviews. I think that it definitely helps others to notice our work as well. And make sure when you listen, share one takeaway. I want to make sure that I share this at the end of each of my episodes. So when you listen, share a takeaway, something that inspired you or something that you learned from listening to this episode. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for the next episode. Take care.